You were like unto a ford. You made the going great. You were like unto the once renowned Eastern Airlines. You earned your wings every day.
All right.
Amen. Amen.
All right.
You were like tide.
Mm-hmm.
You cleaned out stains others left behind.
All right.
Go ahead.
You are like unto ivory soap, not 99 and 44% pure, but 100%.
Go ahead.
All right.
You are like unto the many kinds of hairsprays. You held through all kinds of problems and weather.
Mm.
And most of all, Rick, you were like a Hallmark card. You cared enough to give your very best.
Yes.
Yes.
To you we give
Mhm.
our accolades and our praise, and we are the better for having known you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Willa, what would you like to say? Coming behind that right there. Go ahead, Wilma Brown.
Yeah, that's a hard act to follow.
That's all right.
You're right.
But I
You
just
do.
remember Rick as I knew him
Mhm.
many, many years ago. I know he was one of the very first persons I met when I came to New Jersey,
Mhm.
because he was registering to go to Livingston College,
Okay.
and I was doing the same thing. And we were seated in the same room, and I remember he was wearing his African attire.
Okay.
He was making his case, and I was sitting there nervous about to make my case. Rick and I were involved in the same program. He was studying as I was, urban planning, and he got his bachelor's and then his master's degree in city and regional planning. And I just remember Rick as so full of life
Mhm.
and such a personable guy. And nobody mentioned yesterday, I don't remember anybody saying it, but Rick was a very funny guy.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a real deep sense of humor, and he could really make you laugh.
Mhm.
And if he decided to analyze a personality, he could really lay it out. He could really point to things that perhaps nobody else saw.
Mhm.
So one summer during, I think it was about 1971, Rick and I did a program together here in Plainfield. We were working with young people, teaching them how to use audio skills.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in this building, I'm not sure of the street, but it's not very far from here. And
Okay.
not used as an office meeting building of any sorts now. I think it's just a warehouse. But we ran this program together. And I remember one day we had a video camera. And it turned out that Rick and I were the only ones there to be screened. And it was that day that I realized that Rick had a lot of talent, that probably one day he was going to become a minister.
Sure.
Because he started preaching in front of the camera.
Mm.
And I was the only person in the audience, but I could see
You see the
that
vision.
he had a lot of skills, a lot of eloquence, and a lot of knowledge about
Wow.
the Bible. So he was just a wonderful guy, and I think he had such great natural skills as a politician. He had big ideas for Plainfield. He really wanted to see this become the Queen City that it once was. He brought all kinds of people here. I think his work with Grand Avenue Community Center is one of the most outstanding things. I
Sure.
mean, I can remember when it was hardly possible to get a parking space when events were going on
Sure,
at
sure,
Grand
sure.
Avenue, and they seemed to be going on almost all the time.
Sure.
He just opened the doors, and the community just responded.
Well, Willa, what can we do to keep that energy alive? Or is the energy dead?
Of course not. Of course not. I think we go through periods when people are, you see, when I met Rick, was actually was 1969.
Wow.
So we were still in the high spirits of the 60s, you know.
About 7 years up from the Jim Crow thing.
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
And during the 60s, we had all become convinced that, you know, we can change this world.
At that time,
And we
Yeah.
all felt that we had a responsibility to try to do it. So the morale was high.
Sure.
And it was not so hard to be energetic. But we've gone through, you know, that's 40 years ago.
Sure.
And as Cornel West says, we've just seen the end of the Reagan era
Sure.
with the election of Obama. So our people and we ourselves have gone through many, many changes since then. But just like a river that goes underground, it doesn't stay underground.
Sure.
It comes back to the
Yes.
surface.
Yes.
So we're going to be, you know, our
All right.
energy may have been latent, but it's
Sure.
still there.
Without a doubt.
All right.
Without a doubt.
All right.
And it's going to come to the surface again.
Well, you
All
know,
right.
I was 4 years ago, before I started this show, I was first invited by Chairman Hatcher here onto the Rick Taylor show.
Yeah. I
So
remember that.
the Church of What's Happening Now radio actually debuted, or Radio Energy really come out of the Rick
Yes.
Taylor
Yeah.
show. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You see what
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I heard Pastor Kirk was speaking yesterday at the cathedral, and they said that sometimes they didn't know what Rick would say. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
a lot of times, imagine quite nervous now. But then my show come right behind. You understand? So that same energy, you understand? It's the same energy, and I'm not trying to align myself with anybody. But I mean, you know, all you gotta do is go through the videotape.
All right.
So,
So
Chairman
I
Hatcher.
think you've answered your question.
That's one question.
All right.
That's
Pass it
where
on.
the energy comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick has gone, but we have you, we have other, we have Steve, Wilma, other people are taken home. You know, when we can no longer,
Yeah.
we no longer have the strength to keep pushing, there's
Right.
someone else who can take hold.
You're right. Well, I remember here, Rick Taylor had came one time. We had a demonstration in front of the recruiting station on Front Street, and I remember him getting out the car. I think it was Stephanie Alexander, and they came over to one of our demonstrations. Rick Taylor out there marching with us. I think he had a cane with him, but still out there marching with us, trying to say, "Bring the troops home." I remember other times when we were at the public hearing for the hospital, and Rick Taylor had came down, and they were trying to make way for him, trying to give him a chance to speak. And when he spoke, I mean, everybody could hear the passion in his voice. I mean, keep this hospital open, period. I mean, don't take this from Plainfield, the people that have worked so hard, 131-year-old hospital. Somebody got to fight for this hospital, and we're just glad that he was there with us. And he has taught us so much. Like Zechariah says, it's amazing because Zechariah, this radio show here, is a chain from the Rick Taylor radio show. I can remember we went up there several times, and this show right here, it really is a link to the Rick Taylor, to his show.
Yes.
I mean, he spoke with a lot of passion. And I can understand what the person meant by, you don't know what Rick Taylor is going to say. We got to be careful. And a lot of times with Zechariah, I love him, but sometimes his voice is just like that. You don't know what he's going to say, so just move out the way and get ready for it. But we're just blessed and very humbled, and we thank God that we got a chance to know Rick Taylor while we did.
Yeah, I'm so happy also to you know, just the short times that I did work with him and with POP and Rick. I remember in front of City Hall, we were chanting. I think that we had something about the war in front of City Hall. Did we have one night, one evening? One evening.
We did.
Yeah, one evening I think we did.
On the sidewalk.
Right. And I believe he was there. So, you know, it was the energy that he had. It was just so great, and I'm glad that the Lord allowed him to see Obama get elected into office.
Oh, you're so right.
And
You're so right.
I know that he would say, as I say today, you know, as I was coming in here today on Michael Bay's.
Have been spoken for today.